Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Health First Freelancer. I'm Amanda, your OG Health First Freelancer. And I cannot lie to you guys, I am going through it right now. I do not feel well. I got the big bad virus about a month ago, and it's completely messed up my gut. I'm really struggling. And part of that struggle is definitely my nervous system struggling to keep up with the gut devastation that has happened. And also the fact that I am leaving the country in 12 days' time. My nervous system and my limbic system, I think, equates that with dying to some extent because I have some, I think I can call it trauma from international travel in the past. That's a story for another time. But needless to say, I'm going through it right now, and maybe you are too. There's a lot going on in the world in general, not to mention any health issues you may or may not be dealing with. So, I wanted to share some tools that have been helping me recently to regulate my nervous system. Super important, whether you have a chronic illness or not, to be honest. Even if you don't identify as a person with chronic illness, it's just important to keep yourself as regulated as you can and push back against the chaos that is the world right now. So these are my top 5 nervous system regulation tools that I use regularly to put myself back into balance, calm some of that anxiety, and just general jitteriness and anxiousness, especially when my gut is off as well. And most of them are totally free. There is one at the end that I will tell you about that is low cost purchase, but once you buy it, you never have to buy it again. So wanted to share that one with you as well in case you're interested. But all of these tools I rotate regularly, and they all really help me just calm down and find a little more peace amidst the chaos. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first tool I use regularly for my nervous system is a guided meditation. And I'm sure you're probably like, wow, Amanda, that is so groundbreaking, a guided meditation to calm my nervous system. How incredible. But specifically, I really enjoy the meditations from Great Meditation on YouTube. And they have a bajillion of them, and you can choose 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or kind of anywhere in between there, honestly, depending on how long you wish to meditate. If you're a beginner, just start out with 10 minutes. I find them very, very calming, and I'm pretty sure they throw in some kind of frequencies in the background because I can definitely get my body into a state of relaxation with these meditations that I'm pretty sure is not just accomplished through the meditation itself, if that makes sense. So check them out. I will link some of my favorite ones in the description. But really, they have a meditation for any situation, any feeling, any manifestation that you're calling in. It's really great. So check them out. And that is my first nervous system regulation tool. Okay, my second tool for nervous system regulation is something that I kind of just mentioned. It's binaural beats, which are basically different frequencies that help your brain get into either a focused state or a relaxed state or even like deep sleep. Some of you may have heard me mention before, I'm a huge fan of Brain FM. I have their app for binaural beats, which I use literally every single day. Can't wait to get them to sponsor a video, but I really, really like their app for different binaural beats for different purposes. Focus, sleep, relaxation, meditation. They have like little categories for everything. And it's all different genres of music over the binaural beats. So you can pick what kind of music you enjoy listening to. However, you can also find binaural beats videos on YouTube. I've used those as well, and they also work great. So I like the Magnetic Minds channel on YouTube. And again, I will link a couple of my favorite videos for binaural beats in the description. But if you've never tried them and you feel like you're someone who struggles with focus, or obviously, as we're talking about, anxiety and nervous system regulation, it's worth giving it a shot, especially if you think you're someone who struggles with meditation. Something about the binaural beats just helps your brain get into a different state. Hopefully, a more relaxed and calm state, but that kind of depends on what binaural beats you're using. So, yeah, check out the videos in the description or check out Brain FM. This video is not sponsored. I'm just a huge fan of them, and I use the app literally every single day. So, yeah, that is nervous system regulation tool number 2. Okay, number 3 is a tool that has literally been my MVP lately. It's been saving my life, and that is EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as tapping. If you've never heard of tapping, it's literally just tapping on a series of points through your head and torso. These are sort of like acupressure points, and you tap on them while you go through essentially like a list of affirmations, or you talk through an emotion you're feeling or a limiting belief you're working through or something like that. It's different. There's many different ways to do it, but essentially it combines doing these sort of affirmations with the physical tapping on your body. And there's real research on this technique. It really helps downregulate your nervous system. I think that's even been shown that even just tapping on the points without talking through anything helps regulate your nervous system. I also have to see if I can find the research on that, but it's pretty incredible. I really like EFT because I want to do something that's like meditation, but I need there to be more of like a physical component to it, because I don't feel like I'm feeling so dysregulated that I can't just like sit and listen to a meditation. So this really helps in those moments, I find, where you want to be doing something and it kind of splits your brain's focus between these two different activities, speaking and tapping through the points, so that you can't focus on whatever you're anxious about. Yeah, it's become one of my favorite tools in the last few years, and it's totally free. There's a million videos on YouTube that you can follow for various ailments or just kind of anxiety, stress, general things like that. And many tapping practitioners will have you rate the feeling that you're experiencing when you first start tapping. So if it's anxiety, they'll have you rate it on a scale from 1 to 10. And then at the end of the tapping, they'll have you rate it again on a scale of 1 to 10. And hopefully you'll see a decrease. And for me, I usually have a decrease of anywhere between 2 to 5 points after going through some tapping. So yeah, I think it really works. And that's why it has made my list at number 3. Okay, number 4 on my list for nervous system regulation tools is grounding, aka go and touch some grass. Grounding is something that, if you're not familiar with it, can seem ridiculous, but there's also, I feel like, kind of a natural logic to it. Grounding works because when you go outside and preferably put your bare feet on the grass or sit on the grass or lay down or even put your bare feet on concrete. I've also honestly grounded just by sitting, obviously clothed, like out on my front steps, which is concrete. So that still works as well. But the point is, you are in physical contact with the earth. And this helps because the earth generates its own magnetic field, electromagnetic frequency that is like a natural frequency to our bodies. Funny how a lot of these come back to frequency. That's so interesting. But anyway, we spend most of our time now in the modern era completely disconnected from the earth. And we were meant to be in contact with nature. And nature is like a natural chill pill for us and for our nervous systems. So it helps regulate our own body's magnetic field and lowers inflammation, like helps our digestion work better. Like there's some really incredible research on it actually. And if you're interested, I recommend there's a book I read. I think it's just called Grounding, but that has a lot of the research organized in that book. And it is just a fascinating tool. Yeah, that is number 4 on my list. Go outside, touch some grass, sit on the ground, lay on the ground. I understand where I am right now, it's winter and that's difficult, but even if you can go out for just a few minutes and sit down and regulate and also notice the nature around you as much as you can, that helps as well. Especially for those of us who may be extra sensitive, nature is just so healing and so regulating to our body. Also, especially if you are someone who spends a large amount of time in front of a screen all day, you got to kind of balance that out with putting those screens away and getting back into nature. Okay, last but certainly not least, number 5 is transcutaneous vagus nerve stimulation. Stay with me. Okay, transcutaneous vagus nerve stimulation. This is the only item on this list that costs money because you have to buy this guy, which is a TENS unit. But it's about $32, I think. I checked the other day. So pretty low cost. And once you have it, you can use it over and over and over again to your little heart's desire. And yes, I will have a link in the description to this specific unit. It is the TENS 7000, and I will also explain now how to use it. So TENS units are typically meant for pain and muscle relaxation. There's different modes you can use it for. A lot of people use it for back pain, especially chronic back pain. But I've used this little guy for vagus nerve stimulation for several years now, probably like 5 years. I do it, if not every day, almost every day. And I use it a little bit differently for that. So I'm going to explain that for you now. Actually, let me back up. Let me go back to the vagus nerve. So the reason you want to stimulate your vagus nerve is like the main highway that connects your brain to your central organs, including your gut. And it's kind of the home or the main hub of your parasympathetic nervous system. Your parasympathetic nervous system is what initiates the rest and digest state. So if you are someone who has high anxiety or gut issues or neurotransmitter issues, mental health issues of any kind, probably you are not spending very much time in parasympathetic mode of the nervous system. You're probably spending a lot more time in sympathetic, which is fight or flight, overactive nervous system, anxiety, that heightened sense of emotion. So some of us, myself included, need a little bit of help activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And one way to do that is through the vagus nerve. So with the TENS unit, what we're doing is we are using very low level electrical stimulation to activate the nerve and help the body basically like remember that the parasympathetic nervous system is there and to activate it and get back into that rest and digest mode. So this device was brought to me by my chiropractor a number of years ago, who, it was really cute actually. He was really excited about it because he had taken a seminar about using this for stimulating the vagus nerve, specifically for IBS and IBD, like managing gut health. So I have found that has had a positive effect on my gut. Even more so, it's helped me get back into that calm kind of regulated state. Okay, so I will try and show you this and show you what settings I use. Okay, so first of all, you have your lead plugged in here at the top, and then you turn the dial here. It's kind of hard to do this while I'm holding the mic, but you turn the dial here at the top. If I can show you, turn it on. and it'll give a little beep. Okay, so now it's on, and then you'll see the settings here. So I have this in normal mode. And then for the rate, let's see, or for the width, which is right there, it says 170. Oh, it just changed. 170. I always keep it at 170. And then for the rate, which is hertz, I've put it anywhere between 5 to 8 hertz. And you can play around with that. You might want to start at 5 and then eventually work your way up to 8. But that's typically the range that I keep it in. And then you have a timer. So right now mine says 5 minutes, but you can go anywhere from 10, 15, 20 minutes. I have done 20 to 25 minutes, and that's been great. So typically I'll do 15 or 20 minutes at a time. But yeah, those are the typical settings I use. Okay, so you have this lead, right, that comes out of the top that's plugged in. And at the end of that, you have 2 different wires, which are these. So this one actually plugs into this little clip, which goes on your left ear, like so. You can see I have it clipped on my tragus, the tragus part of the ear, which some people find that difficult, like it won't stick to that part of their ear, in which case you can clip it just like on the outside of your ear. That's fine too. But if you can, clip it to the tragus like that. And then you have that clipped to your ear. And then I will have the second lead. 1 second. Okay, and then I'll have the second lead on one of these electrode patches, and that goes on the inside of your left wrist. So, sorry, goes like that. And these 2 areas, your ear and the inside of your left wrist, correspond to different nerve endings of the vagus nerve. So having these kind of 2 areas just helps connect to the vagus nerve and gently stimulate it from literally like top to bottom. So I will put these on like so. And sometimes I'll have a hairband wrapped around this just to keep it in place, depending on how sticky it is. And then you will turn on your TENS unit. And I recommend doing the settings first, turning it off, putting on the leads, and then turning it back on. So we'll turn it on. I have my settings set. It's at 170 and 8 hertz, normal mode. 5 minutes. You can do more or less time, of course. And then you're going to turn up the little channel here to between 2 and 3 is what you want. But basically you're going to go up between 2 and 3 until you can feel a little pulse in your ear and your wrist. So it shouldn't be painful. You want to go very slowly so that you don't like yank it and like do shock yourself essentially, but go very slowly and just until you can feel a pulse. And then once you feel that pulse, you back off a little bit. And mine usually ends up between 2 and 3. And then you just leave it and your timer goes, and then it will stop automatically once it's finished. And then you'll take the leads off, turn the channel to off position. And that's it. Okay, I'm going to take these off now. Oh, I forgot to mention real quick, I'll also use some of this like electrode spray on the ear clip just to make sure it is conductive, but you only need a couple sprays. So yeah, I've been using my TENS unit for vagus nerve stimulation for several years now, and I typically use it as part of my bedtime routine at night while I'm reading and before I go to bed. It feels really nice. Definitely just helps calm me down, re-regulate. I've even noticed that it helps me feel happier. I think there's like an antidepressive quality to it. And, you know, for something that's not a supplement or a drug, that's pretty cool. I've found it has significantly improved my life and helped regulate my nervous system, helped with feelings of anxiety, helped with feelings of depression at times. So I really think it's worth checking out. It's a technology that not enough people know about, and yet it is very cheap, very cost effective, and very effective, period. So that is my fifth and final tool for nervous system regulation. Okay, so those are my 5 go-to nervous system regulation tools. I hope this video helped you out. And let me know in the comments if you have questions about any of these tools, especially the TENS unit, the vagus nerve stimulation. I know that was a bit of a slapdash explanation, possibly. So feel free to ask me any questions about it, but I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these tools. Thank you so much for watching, and if you are a regular viewer of the channel, the next time I see you, I will be in Portugal, assuming my anxiety doesn't take me out before then. So if you want to come along for my digital nomad journey, I will definitely be sharing some travel vlog type content, also just sharing about my experience living abroad in Europe and traveling as a human with health issues. There are quite a few more factors that I find myself having to consider. So if you're interested in any of that, stay tuned and please subscribe. And I think that's all for now. So I appreciate you being here, and YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy watching this video next, in which case I will see you very soon. Bye.